this video, I would like to help you play Tales from the Crypt, and this is one of my favorite composers, Danny Elfman. And while his music, of course, is super complex, this is a little simplification that we have done for our students here at the music studio. And we would like to say that our students are younger, so we're trying to make always changes to try to help them play things easily. So let's start with the right hand. The right hand, you're gonna do F and A, and then F and B flat, twice each one. Advice there would be to do 1 and 3 and probably 1 and 4. Now I am using a sustained pedal, so in my tutorials I try to give people directly tips because I want them to, instead of like just watching the tutorial, actually be able to play this thing. So remember, you can always stop the tutorial so you can get a better idea and just practice those little sections. So there, one thing is it is gonna go pretty fast later on, so you don't wanna be moving fingers here. You don't wanna do the same two fingers. The same finger for the same two notes. I don't think it's gonna make it easier. And one thing from a technical side, try to make it a little bit on the bouncy side. So don't play with your arm. Try to play mostly from your wrist, almost like if you're bouncing up and down a basketball. Don't bounce your arm. It's more like an up and down movement from the wrist. It's a very short movement, but that's a way to not get tired. Make sure that you're relaxed as well. So that's gonna be the right hand for the top line and for the almost like the introduction. That's gonna be super steady. I would say practice with metronome. And what we have here on the left is pretty easy. It's a D, and then we're gonna have a C sharp, and then we're gonna have two C's as quarter notes and two C sharps. Now, one thing in my tutorials, especially for this type of one, I'm having that keyboard transposed, so these notes are actually what you're hearing is this 3. So I have the keyboard transposed on purpose so I can get lower notes on the piano, especially so I don't have to change the shot that I'm using for the camera. So once you play that, which I think the first line will be pretty easy, 1, make sure they're even, C sharp, then C, C sharp, C sharp. That repeats twice, and I'm using a sustained pedal to make the notes longer. So I think that first line probably won't give you too much trouble. Now, when it comes to the next section, absolutely, I think this is where it starts to get a little more complex. You're probably gonna have to count. Let me show you the right hand first. So we're gonna do D and F for a total of 8 times, but 3 of those. So 3 complete bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or you can even count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 times. Now here I would suggest using your fingers 1 and 3, just because you want to make sure that you have still very strong fingers to be able to keep up and not delay. Definitely don't practice like this. They're very even on those notes. Now after that, we're gonna do a C sharp and E a total of 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on the 7 and 8 I'm gonna change to E and G. So there you can probably practice just that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3 bars of 8. So that's 3 times 8. So if I play just the right hand and I try to put here a metronome to have an idea, 2, that's 3 bars, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one thing that I'm gonna do here on purpose is on the middle of the piece, which is the melody, I am not gonna use a sustained pedal just to get the melody line a little bit clearer, but I am gonna use it on this part just to get the notes to almost ring together a little bit and get it a little bit sounding almost like darker. So once you have that, I would practice that with a metronome many times. This is a structure that is almost like a little bit asymmetrical. It's 7 bars, so make sure that you don't play extra. A lot of pop is made with 8 bars, or sometimes let's say 4. In this case, it's almost odd on purpose. So once we have that, the next thing is showing you the left hand. The left hand is the melody, and the melody is pretty cool. It's up and down a D minor chord, so D, F, A. Now quickly a B flat, back down the chord A, F, and D. So that would sound. And my suggestion for that B flat is to play with finger 2. So once you do that, we're going to have a change of position. So let me show you this first one. So 1. Immediately after, you jump to probably doing finger 4 on B flat and finger 5 on A. That is a little bit of a jump, and it's a jump that I feel like you have to almost do without looking necessarily to your hands, because it's easy to get lost. So it's almost good to like almost feel the first group here of black notes and get quickly pinky there, sorry, finger 4 there, and pinky on the A. Right after that, you're gonna do finger 3 on D, 2 on F, and 1 on A, so you can play that B flat. And this is probably one of the hardest parts of the piece. So let me show you what I mean. It's like this. And I will practice that many times. So 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, and 5 on that B flat. So that's gonna be while you're playing notes here on the right hand. So but I would just get really comfortable with that part. And it's okay to take something like that and repeat it many times, so you really get it under your fingers and you get comfortable. Right after that, I'll keep on showing to you. I'll play it in a second with metronome so you have an idea. So it's an A chord, so it's gonna be 5, 3, 1, and that's A, C sharp, and E, immediately followed by a 2 on F, and that's almost like a quick to do a G with finger 1, 2 on B flat, 1 on A. So this sounds like, and then we run the scale G, F, E, D, C sharp, D, and then we'd almost like complete that. So let me play the left hand so you have an idea. 2, 3, 4, so we hold that one and then change. Now that, of course, sounds cool, and I really like that the melody in this case is being played by the left hand, which is not that normal, but at the same time different, and a good reason to get your left hand to have a more of a lead part. The next thing is to put this together, and my suggestion would be to make sure that you're playing really slowly. Now, one thing here is you're playing a lot of notes. It's 2 notes for each left, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now there is moments in which you're gonna skip almost a note because it's not 2 anymore when you're doing, for example, there. But it's almost like very important that they go together, that you start assembling this correctly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 so on. So one of the cool things about this is that you're gonna probably have to count. So a couple of the B flats there land where they need to. And one thing is that there's a lot of, it's either a note that's being skipped or together, but like try to make sure that this goes together. So you want that synchrony between the 2 hands to make sure that you're very precise, because it's gonna sound a lot nicer and a lot more like steady. So I think I mentioned before, but once I will do the whole melody without the sustain pedal. First here. And then do sustain pedal on this part. Because you can almost hear in the original theme how this first part is almost sounds very like, almost like chaotic, like you don't know exactly what's going on. I think the sustain pedal helped to recreate that. So hopefully that was helpful. If you are interested in lessons here at The Hit, definitely check us on thehitmusicstudio.com. You can take lessons with me or with other teachers that we have here. And at the same time, check our Absolute Beginners free piano course, in which we're going to put a link in the description of this video, designed especially for people that are starting out and want to just, give it a try and get something that they can check one of our courses. But it's a simplified version, a very short version of one of our courses, so you guys can almost take a look what we do here at The Hit. We'll see you guys soon.